Well, first off, Happy New Year to all of you that are watching this video as it comes up, because it's the start of January and a new year. And as I was looking at my dollhouse over the Christmas break, I realized there's a lot of work needs to be done. So today we're going to look at my dollhouse here. This is the Brookifield. Be sure to check the blog post. I'll put more details there, but this was the first dollhouse I ever finished. Not the first one I worked on. I'll tell that story some other time. But here's where it sits. It sits in the corner of my living room, and quite frankly, it's been neglected for a couple of years now. I haven't done much. It needs some repair work. It needs to be cleaned, and I want to put a plexiglass cover on it, and that is something you guys ask a lot about, was how did I do that plexiglass cover on the toy store? So next week we'll start working on the plexiglass cover on the Brookifield. So first, let's just talk a little bit about what this dollhouse is. This is a Brookifield. It was made by the Duracraft company, who is unfortunately out of business. They were right here in Oregon. This was an 1/8" die-cut plywood, and I made it, I'm thinking it's been about 10 years ago. I don't remember. I'll see if I can find the paperwork on that. It's a small house. The kit was created exclusively for Joann Fabrics. Now I'm telling you this stuff in case you run into one of these at a garage sale or a thrift store. Maybe you'll be able to figure out what the dollhouse is. I love these kits because they came with everything, including the shingles. The siding I bought extra, but all the die-cut parts just like a green leaf, but with a bag of shingles, which is really nice when you're starting out. So this is the front view. I'm now going to stop the camera. I'm going to move the house to the dining room table, and we'll get into some more detail on the different parts of the house and what needs to be done. Move to my dining room table. If you hear noise in the background, it's probably my son. He's kind of in the next room over, and this is kind of an open house plan. He's trying to work on his computer and do some programming. So if you hear his noise in the background, I apologize. So first thing we need to look at, this dollhouse is filthy. Let's see if I can get in there. See, the roof needs to be dusted. We'll take care of that. Not sure if we'll work on the dusting of it or not today. Not sure how long this video is going to be. After we look at each room and everything, I'll decide what we're doing. But this house has a cedar shingle roof, and I had a little trouble getting the shingles to be straight. Let's see if I can get in closer. If you can see, it's a little dark in here. I used some strategically placed moss to cover up the spots that were like big spaces between the shingles. So if you have trouble getting your shingles on, that's one way to get around that. The front porch light that we see here is the only light that's wired into this house. I did wire the house. I never put lights in it. I don't think I've got any in there. That is something we might tackle later in the year. I don't think even if I ordered lights they'd get here in time now, but I might. We'll see how that goes. The siding I picked up at the craft store. I believe it was made by the people at Greenleaf, but it was individual boards, and I really like how it looks on this house. I love the green and the white trim on the yellow. I'm not sure what those marks are right here. Well, it looks like I must have splattered when I did the aging on the roof. But we'll clean this up later. Let me pause the camera here and turn the house around, and we can get a look at each room and see what needs to be fixed. And well, here's an overall look at the back of the house. It's only a 4-room house, so I had to be pretty careful about what furniture I bought. The bedroom up in the top corner is really overcrowded, but I really wanted to have those things in it. Obviously needs a lot of cleaning. I see we have a bathroom window treatment needs to be put back up and things like that. So let me get the camera in here close to each room and we'll take a look room by room. If you see things that I have made in the house I say I've made and you want to have me do a video, be sure and put that in the comments. If there's questions about other pieces that I show you in here and you want to know where I got them, also post that in the comments and I will try to remember where they came from. So let's move forward. Alright, so this is the bathroom. I will say this tile that's on the floor, it was a white background with the pink diamonds and it really needs cleaning. But it has yellowed over time, so I'm not happy about that. That's fastened down. This little shelf has fallen. I need to figure out a different way to put this, where's the camera? Put the shelf back up. The bathtub is loose, it looks like. This is just the Krisenbahn bathtub, and you can see where it's kind of discolored. Where is, looks like I've lost my bath mat that used to be in there. This is the window treatment we need to put back up. The bathroom furniture in here is all mostly from the Krisenbahn kit. This shelf here, I think I got it Dollar Tree, I want to say. I don't no, it wasn't Dollar Tree. I don't know where I got that. Maybe at the mini show. Let's see if I can get the camera in a little closer. You can kind of see. Because of the shape of the house, the bathroom's kind of a funny shape. It's got the peaked roof, but I really like this bathroom. It's nice and bright and light. So this will be put on. I will do this later in this episode. Right, so now the bedroom is the other room upstairs. This chair is from one of my early Trash to Treasure videos. That's made out of a toilet paper tube. This room is really crowded, and oh man, is it dusty. The dust level is why we are putting the plexiglass cover on it. But as I'm taking things out here, see this little high dresser with all the little stuff on it. A lot of things are put onto the pieces of furniture with a wax product, but you can see how dirty a dollhouse gets in just a few years. It gets really dusty really quickly. Here's one of the pets. Oh, there's a lamp laying back there. Awesome. There's the bed with its bedding. Here is a lamp I purchased to put in here, but I have not wired it in yet. If I can find the wiring diagram, I might put lights in this. We'll see. That could be a fun project for this summer. And then all the little shopping bags. I utilized the back behind the stairwell there as well as I could. I don't see a lot of big repairs in this room, just getting that, getting it all cleaned. So let's move down to the bottom floor. Directly below the bedroom is the living room. And let's start with this piece. This is a little TV cabinet. One of these days I need to make a TV to go into it. It's got a little game system in there. And I've got some stuff on top of it. And I'm missing a candle. Another reason for the plexiglass cover is the cat loves to get in here and bat things around. And this is a couch. This is the first couch I recovered, done similar to the one that I did on the video a couple of years ago. An odd picture frame laying here. A candle holder on the ground. Not sure why that's on the ground. And a rug. And a chair. This chair matched the couch when they came, and I just recovered them with different fabrics. That rug's fastened down. This room looks pretty intact. I don't really have to do much repair in here. Just a thorough cleaning. Here's the curio cabinet with all the stuff in it. If you go back to the very, very, very first video on my channel, it was a photo slideshow of this dollhouse. But that's the living room all cleaned out with everything out. So let me move to the kitchen and we'll see what it looks like. Here's the kitchen. We have a stove, a kitchen set. These were a really inexpensive kitchen set that I purchased from Hobby Builder Supply. I'm not sure if they still have that set. They probably do. It's the refrigerator that came with it. And then this little rack. I love this little rack. Originally, the cutting board that was on here was about 3 times that thick. And it just looked really bad to me. So I just cut a piece of basswood and to size, rounded the corners, and put a clear finish on it. And now it looks so much better. These shelves are glued in nicely, so I'm not going to take them down. I'm taking everything out, putting it into a box over here on the side, if you're wondering. Oops. We have a table and chairs with a meal set up on it. So that's the inside. And again, the floor in the kitchen was that same kind of tile as in the bathroom, but in plain white. And when I put the house together, that white was white. And now it's, I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but it's almost a brown in here. So I'm really unhappy with that floor, but I don't think I'm going to replace it. I'm going to try cleaning it and see if that helps. So let me go get some glue, raise the camera back up to bathroom level, and let's put that window treatment back where it belongs today. Alright, so first let's talk about how I made this. This is just a piece of basswood and thick one on the top, and then like probably craft sticks inside that are more basswood covered with fabric and glued on. That's all I did. I am going to glue this. I want it to go right here. Yeah, camera's picking that up. Actually, I want it to be, I think I had it up there before. So it makes the window look a little bit bigger. Put it right against that there. And I'm just using, I happen to have some quick dry tacky glue, and I have my super glue. I'm just going to run a bead of glue, a few drops of super glue, and put it in there, and hopefully it will stay this time. I don't know how I did it last time, but it fell off. The rest of the window treatments have stayed up just fine. Right now I'm just putting the glue on. Since I'm on my dining room table, I'm not at my work table, it's a little harder to set things up so you can see every step. But we'll put this in. The super glue will help to hold it immediately and work like a clamp. There. Now that's all fixed. So let me turn the house around so you can get the other side of the bathroom. Kind of see. There's a mirror, the medicine cabinet. Let's see if I can turn. I'm working on doll stuff over on the other end of this table too. This house has, no, it's not back there, so go. It has flower boxes on all the windows too. Let's see if I can get a better look at the roof here. Let me go, I'm not sure if the dirt is showing up on the roof. Let me go get something to clean this with, and we'll see if we can get this roof a little less dusty today. Alright, to clean the roof, what I like to use is, it's just a cheap paintbrush. And I won't do the whole roof on camera, but basically, it's a matter of just brushing all that dust, and there's a lot of dust. If I can find my leftover shingles, I see I've got a shingle missing at the peak. You can't really see that there, but there's a shingle missing right up there. But I do have the plexiglass for the roof. I just didn't, Michael's was out of basswood again when I was in there. So either I've got to find some in my stash, or I've got to go back in and get some another day. But I will be doing the plexiglass cover next week. So this is the Brookifield dollhouse. I hope you enjoyed looking at it. I will write up a blog post here in a little bit and it will be up the same time this video is. I will continue brushing dust off the roof, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.